And Canadians are law-abiding citizens just like Americans. So why did the Border Patrol go, oh, you know Canadian law, you don't know American law, because you're in the American border, we can do whatever we want. The way he worded it is that there is no rule of law. Once you go across the U.S. border, the rule of law does not apply to tourists. So that means that you can't take pictures practically because there's no rule of law because you're crossing the border. And this is going to lead to the mentality of, if the Constitution doesn't apply to visitors, then people are going to start thinking, oh no, I don't want to get in trouble. I'm not going to go buy from America anymore. That's what people are going to start doing. They're either going to use the internet or they're just going to quit buying from America entirely. People that have been crossing the border a lot of times, then all of a sudden they go through hell like that. It's going to make America look bad. That's the thing. It's going to make America look bad. More and more people are going to start hating our government or Americans themselves, which is going to lead to more recruits to the Taliban terrorist organizations, and it's going to lead to more problems. It just seems like the way the border guards are handling it, they're just like, oh, we can do whatever we want. We can search anybody's laptops. We can hit you if we want to, because if you fight back, that's assaulting an officer. That's assault. Or if you just back away, which is a normal human reaction to increase tyranny, that's assault. And if you're shocked and start having a shock reaction like, what are you going to do? Are you going to shoot me or something? I've never had this kind of thing before. That's a threat. You're threatening an officer. That's what you're doing. You're threatening an officer. That's the mentality they're trying to bring upon people now. That's the mentality they're trying to bring to Canadians now, is that you have to fear the Border Patrolmen. You have to be nervous, which is one of the signs they say is terrorism, is people being nervous. Well, how can people not be nervous with all these crimes being committed by TSA agents and both, Customs and Border Patrols? I'm just saying he could have done a better job. That's the reason I'm talking about all this. I mean, he could have done a better job. He could have stopped this from escalating. And I have a feeling that I'm gonna do what I can for this Canadian family. Yes, I'm American, but I want to help them because they were going to help our tourism industry, and we just gave them the boot. We gave people that's going to help fuel our economy the boot. While our jobs is being sent overseas to China, Mexico, and all sorts of other countries, where our jobs are being sent overseas. While a lot of illegal immigrants want to become citizens, putting more burdens on Social Security and other systems, and now we've got the fact that Border Patrolmen are mistreating the guests that have come in and are willing to purchase from our country. I don't think that's wrong. Trade has always been a part of helping the economy, and if the Border Patrolmen are going to start acting like this now, there's going to be a chance that Canadians are going to no longer go to America. There's a chance that Americans are no longer going to want to go to Canada because they're fearful that they're going to have their laptops searched. In fact, anytime if I ever go across the border, I'm going to completely erase my laptop. I'm going to erase it 100 times. Yeah, I will. I'll erase it 100 overwrites before going across the border. So if they stop me and tell me, you're going to have to give me your laptop, then I'll be like, well, then I want you to pay me. And oh wait, that's a demand. I'm demanding the Border Patrol. It's crazy. So in other words, they're allowed to take whatever possessions you take with you. Because I might need that laptop. So what am I going to have to do? Buy a laptop in Canada and have fear that they're going to take that laptop too, and then I'm going to have no laptops? The Border Patrolmen could have handled things a lot better. Like, the first way they could have handled it better is they shouldn't have been too invasive. They shouldn't just kept asking, like, where are you going to go? Which stores are you going to go to? When are you going to go to them? There's a fine line between invasive and too invasive. And there's a fine line between asking fair questions and being invasive. So, And this guy went off the meter. He went too far. And how are you supposed to predict what questions they're going to ask? I mean, what if you don't know? Can you really answer their questions? Can you ask them if you could go on the internet and find out they're not going to let you do that. I mean, this is just, he knows it too. That officer knew he asked a stupid question, and then he got more stupider by saying, okay, get out of the car, get out of the car. That's the second way he did not handle it correctly, was that he just made him get out of the car as if they're terrorists. And then the third way they took things too far was to make people, was acting like, oh, we're going to have to search you for guns and all sorts of stuff. They were treated like an enemy because just because they asked why. Why do I have to answer these invasive questions? The fourth thing that I'm upset about this is that when they started going in there and then he said, oh, because you're across the border in America, we can do what we want. You're not allowed to ask us. You can't ask us why we're asking the questions. You know, you're not allowed to do that. You have to tell us the answers. You can't. I mean, what they're practically saying is that you cannot get a good answer. And Glenn Beck on his show said, you know, I mean, I know there's people that thinks he's a mockingbird, but for those who don't, he did say it's not a crime to question your government. So why isn't our border patrols doing that? I mean, they very well probably watch Fox News. So why, or news where they actually, I mean, I'm pretty sure the Border Patrol knows it's not wrong to question your government. But then they went around and said, oh, you're not supposed to do that. You're not allowed to ask your government questions. You're not allowed to question your authorities. You can't question your gods. It's crazy. I mean, you know, I'm not an extremist. I just care about our liberties. I care about our Constitution. I care about that they keep things civilized. What our Border Patrol did was started acting like a bunch of jerks that you know, no offense to people that are jerks. They go around drinking lots of alcohol and touching women and doing things that are inappropriate. And they go like, oh, we can do whatever we want. Woo! The way they handled it was rough. They didn't have to be rough. I mean, terrorists are being constantly allowed through when they're on the no-fly list. They're letting terrorists cross the border. They're letting people who probably have bombs in their trunks go across the border while they harass civilians. It's ridiculous. Where's the bomb squads to make sure you don't carry bombs around? Instead, they're harassing citizens, and they're harassing tourists. Yep, you Border Patrolmen, I mean, if any of them go on there and listen to this, I hope you're happy that you're going to lose your tourists, and you'll probably lose your job because no one's going to go across the border anymore. You'll be laid off a lot of days. They'll be like, oh, you'll just be sitting on your desks each day, looking out there, and there'll be no cars. You'll probably fall asleep, and then a lot of cars will just run through. I mean, it's just ridiculous. The Border Patrolmen should have kept things on a professional level. And to keep it professional, they should have just said, when they ask why, he should have just said, well, I just want to know, that's all. Or something like, you know, or give a good reason. And if they can't answer, if they say they humanly don't know, then they should at least respond with we understand, or something like that. I mean, they could have handled it better. They could have asked less invasive questions. If policy makes them ask it, then they should at least understand that not everyone's going to exactly have everything well planned. Sometimes people don't have things well planned. I mean, terrorists have everything well planned. So in a way, they'll still allow terrorists to walk through with bombs. Because in a way, terrorists can well plan everything. They know exactly what to do. They've got moles. They're like the smartest. I'm saying they're the most intelligent of all criminals. They're like the biggest, baddest criminals that they have everything well planned. So how on earth is being invasive going to stop terrorism? I mean, if I was a terrorist, if I went across the border, I would answer his every little question. I wouldn't question him.